Games are too expensive right now, and don't try to tell me about the game development is expensive and developers need more money or BS like that. Just let me explain why do I think, and then tell me whether I'm right or wrong. Or there is no right or wrong there. Whether you think I'm right or wrong, and why is that? And as always, I'm gonna be giving you the answer right away because I do this in every video, and why wouldn't I do it in such discussions, in such discussion videos as well? And yep, I'm gonna give you my standpoint, and then I will discuss it further. And well, after that, whether you want to watch or not, it's absolutely your choice. So why do I think that games are too expensive? Well, because $60 pricing and right now $70 pricing as well made sense when games were sold much less, well, meaning that there were sold much less copies of the game, meaning that there were much less gamers, and there were also much fewer games as well. So right now, it doesn't make any sense. So let's discuss that. So what was happening in the past? So in the past, the $60 game became like kind of like a standard, and plus you should understand that $60 like few years back was actually costing more than it is right now, but it was not that long ago, so you would just completely get inflation into account. So why games price was that, and why was it justified back then? Because yeah, there were much fewer gamers. Right now, the gaming industry is one of the largest entertainment industries in the world. It's actually much larger than the movie industry. So we are talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars circulating in a gaming industry right now. And back then, it was not like that. Maybe it was a few hundred millions, and because the game development was actually really expensive, because not a lot of people were actually doing that, and not a lot of people actually knew anything about that, and there was so much creativity and so much technical knowledge required, the $60 price made a complete sense. Back then, selling 1 million copy was something unheard of, and because it was quite rare thing to do, yeah, pricing the game for $60 and making $1 million from it, or rather a few $1 million of it, was actually pretty good investment. Yes, games were much smaller in scale and scope, but there were not a lot of games then as well. $60 made sense, kind of made sense, because there was nothing to compare to before that, so there was nothing, like no price comparison in the past, and it made sense. Because yeah, it was a standard and people got used to it, and yep, it was just working. But as time went by, the $60 price tag did not change, and well, it did not go down despite the gaming industry growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And because game dev costs increased, also increased the number of gamers as well. So it was not a big trade-off. But what also increased is a competition. Right now, there is no month, especially during fall and winter months, where you are not gonna see huge releases of maybe a few dozen huge releases per month. And imagine buying 10 games per month for $60. Oh, let's be realistic. Imagine buying 3 to 4 games per month, or let's say 5 games per month every single month if you are a hardcore gamer. It's $300 per month just to buy the games. And this is judging if it's $60. It's $350 if you're paying $70. For my first world audiences who are making more than a couple $1,000s a month, this might not be a big commitment. But for everyone who are living in so-called third world countries, this is basically impossible thing to do. And for many of you, just buying a single game is pretty impossible, or rather unjustified expense. So because the number of the gamers have increased, now the games are reaching to people who, well, cannot pay that much money, cannot pay $60 for the games. That means that that means a $60 game audience are hitting its peak and it's saturated. So now the game needs to be sold for the people who can afford much less, but they cannot afford $6 games. So what happened? Well, Steam came into the game. Steam sales just changed everything. Now you did not even need to pay $60 for the games. Now the sales were constantly on sales below $60, and maybe for $30, maybe for $20, even less prices, and it was completely digital. Now games did not need to be printed on CDs and just they did not need any box art, or they did not need any boxes. It's all completely digital. And yes, Steam is taking 30% from all the sales, but all the shipment costs and things like that just suddenly disappeared, yet prices of the $60 did not change. Even worse, it's increased to $70. And why is that? Why did it increase to $7? Because publishers want to make more money without adding any effort. But also, the original pricing and the Steam pricing and Steam sales also show that game can be sold for much less, even making it's by still making a lot of profit to the publishers and game devs. And even more insanely, the Game Pass changed the game yet again, like Steam did, and showed that $60 per game is completely unjustified. How? Because Game Pass showed that the publishers and developers can actually make money even without any upfront cost. So in a Game Pass, the game devs are paid based on how much time people are playing their games on a Game Pass, and they're taking proportional portion from the monthly fee that people are actually paying for the Game Pass. So why games are still being sold for $60? I cannot think of any other reason except for greed. Don't tell me that their development costs went up. Yes, if you're talking about the AAA or even quadruple A games, like for example GTA 6, that will reportedly cost more than $1 billion, then yes. But now, compare it how much money GTA 5 has actually made. Is it justified? And then tell me from where the GTA 5 made this amount of money. From sales? From $60 sales? No, they made a disproportionate amount of money from GTA Online. So even if the GTA was completely free, they would still make maybe even more money than that. And the only reason why GTA 5 is not free is just because, well, it's just an additional barrier against the cheaters and things like that. So yeah, that's why it's actually still costs money. Plus, majority of the games releasing right now for $60 are broken. They don't work. They have bugs. They're poorly optimized, and they are really in a playable state only after a few months after their release. Well, think of Cyberpunk 2077. It was completely broken at release. Right now, it's pretty good and pretty okay, but it took 2 years to actually get into playable state. Do you think that it's a good investment to pay $60 for games like that? I don't think so. Can you change anything about that? Well, actually, yes. There's one thing that you can do. Stop buying games for $60 and especially for $70. You are not helping yourself like that. Just jumping into the game when it's broken and when it's most expensive is not the smartest decision that you will make. Get the game when it is on sale, even if it's on the tiniest sale, even if it's on $15 on $20 sales. Just don't pay $60 for that. If you want game prices to go down, don't pay $60 for the games. Some of you might say, oh, if you will do that, if you will not buy the games for $60, well, game will be littered with the microtransactions. They are already littered with the microtransactions. There is nothing you can do about that. There is no way to change this. Microtransactions are generating insane amounts of money, but at least you have a choice whether to buy microtransactions or not. With the $60 price tag, you don't have a choice. You will either pay $60 or you will not buy the game, or you will wait until it will not be $60. With the microtransactions, you have a choice to not pay it. If you want to pay it, but don't pay $60 or especially $70 for the games. It's not justified at all. And if you bought the game on a sale, and if you like the game, and if you feel like you really underpaid for the game, don't worry, you can actually alleviate this problem. Majority of the games have in-game stores. Go into in-game store and buy something there. You will get something, and the developers and publishers will get money as well. And if they don't have an in-game store, go and recommend this game to your friends. Make your friends and family buy this game and play with them. This is the best thing that you can do to support the development of the game. Just don't stupidly throw money on the games. Majority of them just simply do not deserve it. And some of them who deserve it, you have an option to actually pay it different. So yeah, games are too expensive. And don't pay $60 for the game. I guess this will be it for my very short rant. Thank you for being here with me. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. See ya.